Hi everyone, it's Jeanette from Jewelry by Jeanette. Thank you for joining me today. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make these really easy, cute, and elegant looking earrings. Perfect for the holidays, but not just for the holidays. They will be available in kit form and also in finished earrings form, a completed pair of earrings in my Etsy shop. But before we do that, I have some exciting news. I'm going to announce the winner of my giveaway that I actually announced a few days ago to celebrate 500 subscribers to my channel. And I want to thank you all so much for subscribing and liking and watching. I really do appreciate your helping me to grow my small channel and my small business. So, the winner of either a kit or finished piece of jewelry, your choice, is Cinnabear. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Cinnabear 9622. And if you would please email me your shipping address by November 11th, I will get either your choice of a kit or finished jewelry out to you as soon as possible. My email address is jewelrybyjeanette21@gmail.com. And I will also put that information in the description below this video. So congratulations, Cinnabear 9622. Keep watching. I'm so glad you're finding inspiration and ideas. I know that you said that you are a new beader, a new jewelry maker, so welcome to the group. And thanks so much for your kind comment. It was lovely. All right, let's get to today's project. So, as I said, this is going to be a project, a kit in kit form, or you can buy the finished earrings also. But these are Preciosa crystals. So for this project, you will need 2 drops. Now I'm using green, but you could use whatever color you like. And you can use whatever size you like as well. You will also need 2 6mm bicone crystals. I'm using cyan color in the Preciosa again. And you will need 2 head pins. I'm using ball end head pins. You'll need 2 eye pins. And eye pins have 1 loop at the top. That's why they're called eye pins. And then you make another loop at the bottom. They're used as connectors. And you will need 2 earring hooks. The tools that you will need are flat nose or chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, and a flush cutter. So let's get started. I'm telling you, these are so easy. I'm going to first take my head pin, one of my head pins, and I'm going to put one of the drops on the head pin. And now I'm going to make a wrapped loop. And what I want is, I want the wrap to be very close to the top of this drop, because as you can see, when they cut the drops, they're not always that even. So what I'm going to do, instead of using my chain nose to make the 90-degree bend like I usually do, I'm just going to use my finger and I'm going to gently bend this over. You want to be very careful because you don't want to crack the top of your drop. So you want a fairly thin gauge head pin. I'm going to come in now with my round nose pliers and I'm going to grab the wire a little bit above where that bend is, and I'm going to pull the wire over the top jaw of the round nose. I'm going to rotate my hand a little bit so that now the top jaw is on the bottom, and I'm going to continue and pull this wire straight back. Don't worry if it's a little crooked. It's okay. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It almost looks like a person wearing a scarf. Now, I like to keep my loop inside the round nose pliers, and I'm going to transfer this to the other hand, and I'm going to come in with my chain nose or flat nose, and I'm going to wrap. I'm going to wrap twice. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer so I can see this here. I'm going to wrap twice. You could wrap as many times as you need to get close to the top of the bead, but you don't really want to go over it unless you're going for that flared look, which is okay. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to clip off the tail. I'm going to keep my finger over it, and I'm going to trim it. I'm going to hold on to it. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to just tuck in the end if I need to, really, really gently. Because again, these crystals are delicate and you don't want to chip them. And I'm just straightening out the loop a little bit. And that's what you should have, something that looks like this. Now that we've made the bottom part of the earring, we're going to make the little connector with the bicone crystal. So I'm going to take one of my eye pins. And one thing I wanted to mention was, don't worry if your eye pins or head pins are a little bit bent or even, have a little hook on them. You can straighten them out with your fingers, or if you have nylon jaw pliers, but usually I just run my fingers along them, and that straightens out when you use it anyway. So I'm going to take the bicone and thread it onto, if I can see it, thread it onto my eye pin. And what I want to do is make a matching loop on the other side, on the other end. And I actually want the loop to go in the other direction. So I'm just going to make sure that I turn that a little. No, actually, I want to leave that the way it is, because I want the loop to go away from me this way instead of side to side. And I'll explain that a little more in a moment. And don't worry if you don't get it perfect when you're making it, because I'll show you what you can do to correct it. Let me get my round nose pliers. And I'm also going to get my chain nose. So I'm going to take my chain nose and I'm coming just very slightly above the crystal here. And I don't need this to be flush against it, so I am going to make the 90-degree bend with my pliers. Very carefully though, remember, delicate crystals. I'm coming in with my round nose, and I want to try to match the size of that loop as best I can. I mean, it might not be exact, and that's all right. I don't think anyone's going to measure how many millimeters your loop is on top. So again, I'm not making a wrapped loop. If I said that, I'm sorry. I'm actually making a simple loop, and this is the way I make them. It's the same first steps as making a wrapped loop. So I pull that wire over the top jaw, I rotate, and I pull it to the back like a person wearing a scarf. But this time, I'm not going to wrap it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flush cutter, and I'm making a cut where the wire crosses itself, but I'm going to cut it inside the loop. I've tried cutting it outside, but when I try to close up the loop, it gets distorted. So I've found that cutting it inside the loop here, giving a little cut, holding onto the wire, And this is what it's going to look like. Yep, it's twisted. It's going to be twisted. That's okay. I'm going to come back with my chain nose pliers, close this loop, and then I'm going to straighten it out. And I usually try to straighten that out with my round nose if I can. And it's going to take a little working it. And see, I'm not liking that big long neck there. I think I made the bend a little too far above. So here's how we can correct for that. I'm coming back inside the loop here. I'm opening that up just a little bit. And I'm going to make that loop just a little bit bigger. And I like that much better. That's a much better looking loop. And then I'm going to close that up and straighten that out a little bit. It's not the best loop I've ever made, but you know what? It's going to be just fine. Because when you put it on the earring, nobody's going to notice if it's just a little imperfect. It's handmade, you know. If it bothers you, you can always remake it. I will, in the kit, I will include an extra head pin and an extra eye pin, you know, because we all make little mistakes. But I'm going to leave that. I'm okay with it. Now, I want to make sure that one loop is going in one direction, side to side, and the other one is going front to back. I almost have it, but I'm going to grab one side with my chain nose. And ideally, you should have two chain nose, but that's right. I'm using what I have. Sorry about the police car there, siren. And I'm just going to twist a little bit to make sure they're even. And you know what? That is bothering me a little bit, so I am going to remake this. I'm not going to have you watch me remake it, but I will remake it when I've finished with the video. So what, excuse me, what we're going to do is we're going to now take our component here, our connector, and you know what? Let me remake that first. I'll be right back. All right, we're going to remake that connector. And I'm leaving this in the video because I want to show you that everybody makes mistakes. And sometimes you just have to redo it. That's life. So once again, I'm putting it back on the eye pin. This time what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to use my pliers. I'm just going to bend it over like I did with the drop. And I'm not going to worry about which direction it's going in yet. I'll straighten that out later. So I'm gently bending that over. I think I'm going to like this better. And I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. It should be a good size right here, more towards the end here. Yep. I'm going to wrap around the top. I'm going to actually take these out and put them back in again. You could rotate if you want. And again, I have my little person with the scarf coming in, clipping. Much, much better. I like that one. Much better. Straightening out the loop. And I have to make sure that one loop is facing one way and one's facing the other. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here. So you see how I have one loop side to side and the other loop front to back. And that's going to be important so that I have what I consider the front of this drop facing the front. There's always going to be one side that looks a little bit better than the other. So that's what I look for. Now it's time to put everything together. So first I'm going to open one of the loops on my connector bicone, gently twisting it away from me or towards me. You never want to pull it out. You always want to twist like you're opening and closing a door. I'm going to hook my drop. Oops, I didn't open this far enough. very gently, small movements. And I'm going to hook this on. That's what I think should be the front. Great, I'm going to close this loop up. And then I'm going to attach the ear hook, the ear wire. I could either open this loop or I could open the loop on top of the bicone. I'll tell you the truth. I don't like opening and closing the ear wire loop if I can help it. I find that sometimes they can be a little brittle, and I've had some of them snap. The ones that are going to come in your kit and the ones that I'm using are really good quality, so that shouldn't happen. But it's just a practice of mine. I'm just going to open this loop on top of the bicone, and I want to make sure that what I want to be the front is still facing me. Oh, excuse the drilling noise. My neighbors decided to drill now. That's okay. And now I'm going to hook my earring hook on that loop, and I'm going to close it. And now we have our finished earring. Isn't that adorable? And it's elegant looking too. It's simple yet elegant. And I think it's going to look really, really nice with your holiday wardrobe. And even throughout the year. I mean, it doesn't have to be for Christmas. And then what you do is you follow the same steps and put the other one together the same way. So that is our little project for today. Cinnabear 9622. Please remember to send me your mailing address and your preference of a kit or finished piece of jewelry, and I'll get your prize out to you as soon as possible. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you found this helpful. I mean, these will be great for little stocking stuffers or coworker gifts, or just a little gift for a little something for a neighbor. I might even give some to the neighbors who are drilling or sawing right now, because it's, you have to be on good terms with your neighbors. So remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And you can find my Etsy shop name and link in the notes below this video, as well as my email address. Thanks so much, everybody. You have a great day, and I will see you soon. For those who stayed for the Henry Cam, here's Henry. Say hi, Henry. Say hello to everybody. Say hi. They got you awake this time. They got you awake. Although you look like you're ready to go to sleep. All right, say bye. Bye-bye.